Hello everybody, what's going on out there? There's a lot of iPad news in the news, and I was gonna skip making a video until the launch of the iPad and I got it, made an unboxing and talked about it. But there's a lot going on. I got a few notes over here in my other display that I'm gonna talk about. Let's see here. Okay, iPad reviews. As you can see, there's a flurry of journalists that have got the iPad about a week early. USA Today, Wall Street Journal, the Sun Times, New York Times, I think, and every single one of them are glorious reviews. The PC World review was a good review. The Boing Boing review reviewed it well. Macworld rated it 4.5 out of 5 stars. Every single review has said it's marvelous. And these are people that said, I'm not sure about this, lack of flash, lack of multitasking, yada yada yada, but now these people are saying it's marvelous. And I told you guys so. I told you guys it was going to be, because I just know Apple. And the more this goes on, the more you're going to understand why you're going to be able to put more and more faith in Apple products, because all the skeptics, I believe, are changing their mind, and a lot of people that said they didn't want one are looking twice at it now, especially because, the new Netflix streaming is coming to the iPad. Come on, people want to call it an April Fool's joke, but it's not. It's not. Netflix streaming on the iPad. This is going to be huge. I watch Netflix streaming all the time on my machine. I pay for it monthly gladly. Gladly, I pay for it every month. And now I can take it and watch my streaming Netflix on the iPad anywhere there's a Wi-Fi. I doubt they'll enable it over 3G just yet because of the networks and the congestion. Streaming Netflix would be pretty intense. But I'm assuming at least over Wi-Fi, and it's spectacular. If there was no reason to get an iPad before, there is one now. You can't buy a streaming Netflix app for the iPhone or iPod Touch. There's going to be several apps, in my opinion, that's going to be this way, because the form factor on the iPod Touch and iPhone just doesn't cut it. It's not big enough. It don't do it. And as I said before, Netflix won't do it for me either, besides the fact that they run Windows 7. I don't want an operating system that's full-fledged desktop style on a little bitty mobile device. I don't want that. I want something that's meant for the form factor that it's on. Windows 7, all these other tablets are going to be Windows 7, and the Windows 7 is meant for mouse input. Okay, it's in a keyboard. It's got a layer of touch on it, but it's not fully a touch OS, because its main input device is a mouse, whereas the iPhone OS and iPad OS is a fully fledged touchscreen device built from the ground up around interacting with it with your hands, not with a mouse, and then using your finger as a secondary way of dealing with it. Okay, it's the primary deal. Okay, so, and the fact that you're going to be able to get an SD card and plug into the iPad, that is just absolutely wonderful. It gets better and better every day. And I think a lot of the skeptics are going to change their mind. And I think a lot of the PC users are going to hate it just because they don't want to want one. And they do. Deep down, they want one, and they don't want to want one. And they despise Apple for that. They've always hated Apple, and now Apple's made a product that is appealing to them, and they can't admit it, they won't admit it, so they lash out in anger. People cannot understand. No flash, no multitasking. Why would I want this thing when I can get a netbook? You just don't get it, do you? You really, honestly just don't get it. Go out and read a few of the reviews and try to see it from our perspective. Because when I look at it from your perspective, all I see is a little laptop. I don't want a laptop I have to pull out and boot up, and if I have the power off of it, I have to wait at least 60 seconds or 30 seconds, 45 seconds for the thing to boot up. I want to be able to hit the button and it's right there. Bam! This is the appeal of the iPad. Okay? And once you guys that are skeptical get your hands on it and play with it for a couple of days, I really think you're going to change your mind. Of course, there's always going to be people that's got so much pride that they'll never admit it. They'll end up saying like, oh, it's nice, and I would probably use it, but I don't need it. That's what they'll say. But I'm seeing now a lot of the skeptics are eating crow. A lot of the skeptics are definitely eating crow. Here's sites already coming out. iPad ready on launch, HTML5, no flash, CNN, New York Times, Vimeo, Time, Major League Baseball, the White House, Virgin America, Sports Illustrated, Flickr, People, TED. All these are HTML5 flash free, ready to go. Well, don't quote me on that, but I know they're iPad ready, which means they're flash free. Okay, and it's just HTML5, CSS3, and JavaScript. Just a few of the sites that take advantage of these web standards, it says. So Apple's working, and not only is Netflix doing this, but so is CBS and ABC are all going to have iPad apps. Come on, guys, if you're a TV watcher, there's going to be no other device on the planet that is going to allow you to watch TV like on the iPad. You honestly going to tote around a netbook and try to watch Netflix through the web browser on a netbook through Windows 7? Is that what you're honestly trying to tell me? Because I can guarantee you the experience I have will be tenfold what you have on that netbook. I can guarantee it. Some people want to say, well, technically the iPad isn't HD, but it is 720p, I think. And some people say, well, technically it's not, but its resolution is like 760, or I can't remember the exact resolution. So it is 720. Okay, it is 720. So the technicalities of it are kind of hit or miss. You can I guess technically call it HD, but a lot of the HD purists say it's not true HD. So really it's just depending. But it does have a good resolution to it. It's nice, and I think it has a good size res to give a dense enough pixel ratio to where it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful display. Let's see what else I got wrote down here. A lot of people want to talk about the closed model. I'm sorry to be moving so fast, but I got to get this over with. I got a lot of things to do today, so I wanted to throw this out here real fast because it might be longer than I expected anyway. So what was I talking about? Oh, Apple opening up. Well, I don't know if it'll be this year, next year, or within the next 5 years, but I'm not always right. But my predictions say that one of these days, Apple will have to open up. Okay, if they get so popular to where they grab 50% or more, 60, 70% of the mobile phone market share, like Windows does on desktop, if they grab a very hefty part of market share, then I don't see how they're going to be able to sustain approving all of these apps. They're going to have to find some kind of standard rules that they abide by, and they're going to have faith in the developers at some point or another. And I think they're building that faith and training their developers now. Okay, so when they do open it up, the developers will be trained and they'll know what has to be going on. But I don't see them, if they grab a lot of the market share, I don't see them being able to sustain approving hundreds of thousands of apps coming in weekly. I don't see that happening. The manpower would be unbelievable. And maybe they plan on Android kind of taking it, and they're just going to kind of sit back. I don't know, but I just the way that Apple's moving and the size that they are growing, I don't see how they can sustain the app approval process. I hope they can. I like the app approval process. I like the fact that my app store is clean and everything in it works, is safe and secure. But I don't see how they can hold on to that model forever because they're getting so big. It just seems unfeasible to be able to approve everything. But I could be wrong. Nintendo's Iwata, whatever his name is. Now, I love Nintendo. They make the best consoles. The DS is awesome. Okay. But he come out and said the iPad is nothing new. It's just a big iPod Touch. And Phil Schiller said, well, you can look at that in a positive way or a bad way. It just depends on your state of mind and your opinion on the subject. But I think the Nintendo people are kind of intimidated about this. I don't know if they consider the iPad and the iPhone and the iPod Touch a long-term problem, but I think they're considered a problem right now. And they're going to have to start combating Apple. And I know they're very reluctant to mention them because that solidifies Apple's place in the market. So Nintendo don't want to come out and publicly say much about Apple. But they're going to have to start paying more attention because they had to release the Nintendo DS specs, the announcement of the 3DS early, because I heard that journalists were going to release it, so they had to preempt it and let it go. And I'm still up in the air about that. It looks cool, but how about the touch and all that good stuff? I'm not sure. If it's really a hypocritical statement for him to say it's just a big iPod Touch when the DSL or DSi XL is just a bigger DSi or whatever you call them. It's just a bigger version, so it's the same thing. I mean, I don't understand why the hypocrisy reaches so far with him. That's just really strange to me. And people say, well, he didn't market it as anything but a big iPod or DSi, you know. So you can take it that how you will. I don't think Steve Jobs marketed this any higher or hyped it any more than anybody else. I think when he got on stage and described it, I don't think he hyped it at all. He barely showed us what it was capable of. He barely showed us any of the apps. Okay, they could have waited till now to announce it and show us we have all these apps ready and everything. They could have give the iPad to developers early. They could have done it totally different, but they didn't. Apple takes chances. They take chances, and yet again, they've come out on top. Okay, and it's getting to the point to where you know it's not a coincidence. They obviously know what the hell they're doing. Let's see. Ebooks. People are complaining. Well, the e-publishers are complaining, or people are complaining. Well, ebooks are too high. Ebooks should be low, 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 low. And as much as I agree with that, God heaven, you know I love low prices. And if ebooks were $9.99 across the board, it would be great for all of us. But realistically, let's think about that. If you was an author, okay, would it really matter to you if your work was in print, physical print, or digital print? Would it matter to you as an author what form it's in? Okay, because is your work not worth just as much to you no matter what form factor it's in as the author? If you have written something and you are the author, that work that you have written is worth just as much to you in physical print or digital print. To you as the author, that is your work, and you're gonna want to get paid for that work, no matter how the people take it, no matter what format they take it, paper or plastic. To you as the author, it's worth it because it's your work. Now, to us as consumers, we're looking at it saying, well, there's less manufacturing, we don't have to pay workers and factories and paper, and that's great, okay? And maybe that cost should be put upon the publisher itself, okay? If the book prices go down, the publisher should have to take that on, I think, because the author's work comes to the publisher as a single manuscript, and they take it and they publish it from there. So the author should get his pay, his percentage, no matter what form the book is in, ebook or real book. It don't matter. The author should get paid the same. I think the publisher, or maybe I'm wrong, or somebody else other than the author, should shoulder the loss of dropping the prices because of the manufacturing. Now, I don't care to pay $13 or $14, $15 a book, because the way I look at it, I say, well, this is that author's work, and he put time and money in it, and whether I'm reading it in a book form or whether I'm reading it on my iPad to the author, this work is worth the same amount of money. So I'll pay them $15, okay, because this is the author's work, and if it's worth it. Just because it's in digital, digital format, don't take away from the author's work. It don't make Stephen King's books less interesting because they're in digital format. It's the same work. It's the same text. You're reading the same book. So in that regard, you need to pay the same for an ebook as you would a physical book. The only difference is manufacturing. Somebody needs to lower the price to cover manufacturing because they ain't got to, the publisher should come out and say, okay, since we ain't got to publish anymore, we can drop the prices on our books by a couple bucks. They could do something like that, but I do not think the author should take a loss because he has a digital book. That's not right, I don't think. Is there anything else? People say, yeah, it's overhyped. I don't think so. I ask these people, what does it need? They say it's just a rudimentary device. I ask them what it needs, and they blabber the same old shit. Flash, multitasking, a camera. Well, that's it. That's all I hear over and over again. If that's all it needs, don't tell me how it's lacking, okay? That's just ridiculous. That's like 3 things. And flash is no big deal. Look at this. Look at the satisfaction of customers on the iPod and iPhone. Has flash hindered their satisfaction and experience? I don't think so. And it's not going to do it on the iPad either. Here is a list of all the iPad apps that are going to be out on launch day, I think. You can see there's a gazillion of them. And it goes on to the next page and the next page. And you can come here to appadvice.com/app collections/view/iPad apps. if that, I'll put the link in the description. How's that? I'll drag it to my desktop here. Boom. Now I'll put it in the description for you. So, okay, that's the iPad discussion. So now let's get on to a little discussion that I'm having or thinking about. I don't know who's right or wrong. Okay, is a laptop a portable device or a mobile device? Is it both? This is a debate that's been raging on, and I'm having conflicts. One day I'll say, well, a laptop is a mobile device. Then I'll think about it, and I'll say, no, wait a minute. The laptop ain't a mobile device. A cell phone is a mobile device. A laptop is a portable device. A laptop is a portable device. Then I'll think about it for a little bit, and I'll think, well, no, not technically. I mean, laptops are meant to be taken with you. They're portable. They're mobile. So, I mean, in one article I found, it says Apple cuts a large slice of mobile gaming pie. Then the next article, I find Apple gains 19% share of portable gaming market. So is it the mobile gaming market they're in? Is it the portable gaming market they're in? Are laptops mobile, or are they portable devices? Okay, I've done a little bit of looking into this, and definitions for mobile, let's see, moving or capable of moving readily, especially from place to place. That's the definition of mobile. Moving or capable of moving readily, especially from place to place. And a laptop fits that description perfectly. It's capable of moving readily because all you got to do is pick it up. Do you all see what are you all reading anything else into that? Moving or capable of moving readily. Okay? So, cell phone fits that description, and so does a laptop, especially the smaller ones. So then I went and looked up the definition of portable, and the definition of portable says easily or conveniently transported. So to me, these sound like two overlapping definitions, two separate words that practically mean the same thing. Now, if they don't mean the same thing, can you please explain this to me? Because now, looking at both definitions, a laptop can be portable because it's easily or conveniently transported. It says a small, light typewriter, usually with a case in which it can be carried. A motor designed to be attached to the outside of a boat, quote unquote, a portable outboard motor. A portable toilet, portability in computer science. Porting is the process of adapting software. So you can see that laptops fit the definition of both mobile and portable. And so does the iPhone and the iPad. So here's an article on here, mobile gaming versus portable handheld gaming. But then again, mobile and portable are the same thing. Okay? This is confusing to people, and I think they need to find a better way to distinct the two apart. Okay? Because they are different things. A DS is different than an iPhone, but they're both portable and they're both mobile. We need a way to differentiate these two together. Here's another article I found. Gizmodo, let's see, laptop. It says a laptop is a personal computer designed for mobile use and small and light enough to sit on a person's lap while in use. So Wikipedia defines it as a personal computer designed for mobile use. Okay? So technically, then I click on mobile computing, and it says mobile computing is taking a computer and all necessary files and software out into the field. So technically, I guess, laptops and cell phones are mobile computers and portable computers. So you all discuss it in the comments. I don't want to know. This is a huge debate. No, portable and mobile are two different things. A laptop is not portable. A laptop is mobile. A laptop isn't portable. A laptop is portable. An iPhone or an iPad is a mobile device. No, an iPhone or an iPad is a portable device. No, an iPod or an iPhone or an iPad is both. Which is it? There's this big debate going on, and I want to hear your all's 2 cents. Okay? So, I thank you guys for watching this little quick tidbit, well, not quick, but this little video, and I will be back on this channel Saturday when I get my iPad for an unboxing, and we'll go through it and look at it a little bit. And I'm going to post a couple on my Appleshakeguru channel tutorials, but you guys are probably not interested in that. So we'll see you guys Saturday. Happy computing. OS 10, brothers.